Hey folks, this is Bailey from Dank Wargaming, and welcome to Firefight, Road to Adepticon 2026. Today is another double dip feature because this is also a how to paint video. We return to our old friend, the Mantic Firefight Kings of War Nightstalkers Tormentor. Let's get painting. So to get started, I took my Tormentor outside and gave it a rattle can spray primer of Citadel's Wraithbone primer, because the idea is I'm going to use a lot of contrast, and this is the paint that goes with contrast. Like you put this base down, then you put contrast over it, which is like the main base of what I'm working on. So the first thing I have is Doomfire Magenta Contrast, and I'm going to put half of this paint, or I'm going to put this paint on half of this model. So I'm just going to pick a side, and that's going to be the side that's getting the Doomfire. And the idea is that I want my guy here, he's going to be this Nightstalker, is going to be half in the physical world and half in another plane of existence. So that's why I'm doing this half and half paint job. At least that's the idea. And I'm going to slap this paint all over him. Just get it on there, get it looking nice and good. I don't want it to look too thin. I want it to look nice and fleshy. That's the idea. So because that paint's going to take a while, I have one here that's already done. I've already painted the Doomfire Magenta on him. And the plan is that I'm going to apply some Army War Paints Pixie Pink to him. But I'm not just going to do it in the normal way like I just did with the magenta. I'm actually going to dry brush it on. So the dry brushing is a thing where you get the paint on your brush and you wipe it off, most of it, as you can see here on the board. It's nice and thin, and then you apply that gently and lightly across the areas that you want highlighted, because basically this is like a highlight layer. It's not going to get down in the cracks and crevices. It's not its purpose. Its purpose is to hit these raised edges, and what that's going to give us on our model is that it's going to make the crevices look really dark and red and fleshy, and give us this nice bright pink highlight up on the top of the muscles. So it's really going to make the sinewyiness of the model stand out, which is what I want. All right, I like the idea that these guys, they're not like made out of stone, they're not made out of mud or anything like that. Like, these are fleshy beings. So now we're going to go to the other side of the miniature, and we're going to apply Citadel's Contrast Hex Wraith Flame. And the idea here is that this is going to be the side of the miniature that is ghostly. So this is the part of him, the monster, that is not in the terrestrial world. So he's not sinewy. He's actually the monster's actually in like the ether. He's on another plane of existence here. We're just going to lob him up on here real good. And this is a fun paint. It was designed a while back for the Games Workshop's re-release of Age of Sigmar for the Night Haunts. It's supposed to make painting ghosts a lot easier by doing this exact thing. Putting this contrast green, this ghostly green, over Wraithbone to give you this nice ghostly looking feel to your miniature. So here we are with a guy, because I'm going to let the other guy dry, let the other monster dry. So here's one that I've touched up. It's got the Hex Wraith on it. It's got the pink pixie highlight on the other side. And so what's left to do is to work on the mouth, and then the talons, and then this little bit of dirt on the bottom here where the talons are. So what we're going to do next is work on the mouth. So I have some Citadel Corn Red. I'm going to get a little more detailed brush, because it's a very small muscle in the jaw that I'm trying to get here. thin it down a little bit. But up in here in the jawline, you can see there's a little tiny muscle, and that's what I'm trying to get to. I'll let that dry for a minute. And then I'm going to, while that's drying, I'm going to look at the talons here. Got some Citadel contrast skeleton horde. I'm looking at the talons and the back spikes and the arm spikes on the flesh side, because the side that's got the ghost side I don't need to worry about too much. It's already good to go. It's this other side that I'm worried about. Yes, this is a contrast. It's going to flow where I need it to go. It's adding this dark sort of khaki color that looks really good for doing bone, especially once you give it a little dry brush at the end, which is what the game plan is. But I gotta let this skeleton horde dry, so I'm going to work on some small auxiliary details on the outside, namely the dirt bit here with the talons at the bottom, which are going to also help tell the story that this is a creature coming from another plane of existence to the one that we're in. So on the side, the physical side, I'm looking at Army War Painter's Hydra Turquoise. And the idea here is that the monster has come into the physical plane that we exist in and has physically terraformed it to match its plane of existence. So it is going to be blue. Turquoise at least. And then the other foot that is the ghost side still, it's getting Citadel Paint's XV88, because I'm going to basically have this guy standing in sand in a desert, try and get that deep contrast, because I want the blue to contrast with the pink flesh, and I want the pink to stand out from the sand. Like, I didn't want to have too many earthy color, like deep dark greens or browns, because I've got a lot of that. Oop, got a little paint on myself. Oh well. On the model enough as it is, so I was trying to find a way to contrast the ghost color from the flesh color, and then I had to find a way to contrast both those colors with what was on the ground. And so what I ended up with was blue and pink between the dirt and the flesh, and then sand and green for the land and the other part of the land, and then the tan and the pink will also stand out from each other as well. Now for the finish off the mouth, add a little depth to that red in there. I'm going to put some Agrax Earthshade from Citadel Paints. Get up in there between the teeth and get that corn red I touched up in there earlier to kind of give it some depth without having to do too much detail work. Then finally, I'm going to finish this guy off with some Pro Acrylic, Monumental Hobbies Pro Acrylic Bold Titanium White as a dry brush. This is meant to be the final step here to really hit the highlights on once again, the physical side of the model. I'm not worried about the green. The green side is done, and I'm just going to hit the very, very edges of the teeth here to make them stand out just a little bit from the rest of the model. And then up here on the talons, again, I'm just trying to hit the extreme edges of the ridges to get them to stand out from the rest of the model. But what you will end up with once it's all done is a guy that looks a little bit like this. All the final dry brushing and highlights done, you'll get to see the talons, the blue, the greens, the pinks, all in a very nice detail, allowing you to have a wonderfully finished painted miniature. And that's how you paint a Mantic Firefight Kings of War Nightstalker Tormentor. If you want some more Firefight and or Kings of War content, please visit Phoenix Wargaming YouTube channel. There my co-host Chris and I cover Firefight, Kings of War, and many other games on our new podcast, Win That Way. Finally, I'd like to take this moment to thank Purple Planet for the use of their music. And until next time, I'm Bailey from Dankless Wargaming, and remember, don't miss your mark when it gets dank after dark.